What if the Celtics already made up their mind about Kristaps Porzingis, and they're just waiting for the right moment to cut him loose? It sounds wild, trading away a guy who was once billed as the missing piece to a championship roster. But when you zoom out, the writing might already be on the wall. And if the rumors swirling out of Utah have any weight, Boston might be staring at an opportunity that solves two problems in one deal. In 2 playoff runs with Boston, Porzingis has played fewer games than you'd expect from a 13th man. 13. Missed playoff games in 2024. Then, in 2025, a ghost. He showed up sick, sluggish, and ultimately ineffective. For a team in win-now mode, that's a fatal flaw. No one's questioning KP's talent. He stretches the floor, blocks shots, and finishes at the rim better than almost anyone his size. But he's unreliable. And in the NBA's new financial landscape, paying $30.7 million to a maybe-healthy player is a luxury the Celtics can no longer afford. Now here's where things get interesting. Reports from The Athletic suggest the Utah Jazz are shopping both Colin Sexton and Jordan Clarkson as they transition into a younger, more future-oriented core. Let's pause on Sexton. On the surface, he doesn't seem like a Celtic type. He's an undersized combo guard. Defense, spotty. Efficiency, inconsistent. But look a little closer, and a new narrative begins to form. One that makes this potential swap far more intriguing than it first appears. Colin Sexton is 27. He's fiery, explosive, and fearless. He's averaged over 18 points per game in 2 of the last 3 seasons, without a true playmaker feeding him the ball. And despite concerns about volume, he's quietly shot over 39% from deep every year in Utah. That's not just useful, that's playoff rotation material. A few years ago, Guerschon Yabusele was a punchline. A draft day mystery pick who never lived up to the hype in Boston, then disappeared overseas with barely a whisper. But now, he's back. And not just back, he's poised to cash in. So what happened? How did a player the NBA seemingly gave up on flip the narrative and return as a legitimate rotation piece in a playoff-caliber team? The answer isn't what you think, and it's got nothing to do with raw talent. Back in 2016, the Celtics used the 16th overall pick to select Yabusele, a move that baffled analysts, confused fans, and sparked years of memes. The French forward had size, sure, some agility, but even in a pre-positionless NBA, his fit looked awkward. His time in Boston was short and unremarkable. 2 years, low minutes, a waving that barely made headlines. What came next should have been the end. He bounced to China, hit career purgatory, and then came the rock bottom. Over a month, without a team, without direction, without even the illusion of being on someone's radar. But that's when something cracked. I was like, no, it's impossible, Yabusele told Hoops Hype. How am I in this situation? A couple years ago, I was drafted first round. I put myself into the situation to really tell me the truth. What would I do wrong? He didn't blame the Celtics. He didn't blame the league. He looked in the mirror. And that's when everything changed. A lot of players hit adversity. Very few turned it into fuel. Yabusele went back to France, signed with Asvel, clawed his way into minutes, then got a shot with Real Madrid. What followed was nothing short of a resurrection. You'd think that any chance to land Giannis Antetokounmpo would have fans foaming at the mouth, begging Boston's front office to pull the trigger. But what if the cold truth is this? Trading for Giannis right now could be the move that kills Boston's future, not saves it. In a league defined by chaos, injuries, and superstar power plays, the Celtics are suddenly standing on the edge of a cliff. Jayson Tatum's torn Achilles has thrown a wrench into everything, from roster plans to salary management to long-term contention windows. And yet, right when logic would scream for caution, some whispers around the league suggest Boston should be looking to make the biggest gamble of all, trading for a 2-time MVP with back issues, a $100 million+ future, and no guarantee of longevity. On ESPN's Get Up, Brian Windhorst dropped a line that should have made Celtics fans pause, not panic. Right now, there is no Giannis Antetokounmpo trade market. There is no Giannis Antetokounmpo trade discussion, he said. No movement, no backroom negotiations, no ultimatums. The Greek freak hasn't asked out. and the Bucks aren't dangling him. At first glance, that sounds like a dead end for teams dreaming of a Giannis mega deal. But dig deeper, and this silence is revealing. The Bucks aren't willing to risk public backlash by trading him unless they're absolutely forced to. And Giannis, he's in wait-and-see mode. And it still might not be enough unless Boston cuts deep into its core. That means dumping Drew Holiday or Kristaps Porzingis to get under the second apron. Yes, those same guys who were pivotal to Banner 18 now have to be turned into cap relief. Think about it. Trade Brown, a 28-year-old finals MVP with no major injury history, and gut your depth while your franchise player is out for possibly the entire 2025-26 season, just to bring in a star who turns 31 this year, has logged over 38,000 minutes of NBA-level punishment on his body, and hasn't made it past the first round in 3 straight years. Pairing Tatum with Giannis, in theory, sounds like a dynasty blueprint. In practice, you could be staring at a scenario where both are rehabbing serious injuries at the same time, on max contracts, with no flexibility left to build a team around them. How does a 32-year-old Giannis mesh with a 28-year-old Tatum, coming off an Achilles rupture? Will they have any runway left to dominate? Or are the Celtics just paying for past achievements instead of future potential? What if the next seismic shift in the NBA landscape doesn't come from Boston, Los Angeles, or even Miami, but from Manhattan? What if the team everyone has mocked for 2 decades, yes, the New York Knicks, is about to steal one of the most lethal scorers in league history right from under the nose of the Celtics, Kevin Durant, in blue and orange? Sounds impossible. That's exactly what makes it dangerous. While the Celtics recover from the catastrophic Achilles injury to Jayson Tatum and brace for a turbulent 2025-26 season, the Knicks are plotting a move that could shatter the Eastern Conference hierarchy. ESPN's Brian Windhorst reports that New York is actively pursuing a trade for Kevin Durant, and that pursuit isn't some late-night front office fantasy. It's real, it's bold, and it could change everything. But here's the part that no one's saying out loud. If the Knicks succeed, this won't just be about Durant. It will be about power. Who has it? Who's losing it? And who's ready to grab it by the throat? Durant, now 36, is coming off 2 deeply disappointing seasons with the Phoenix Suns. The so-called super team experiment with Booker and Beal. A spectacular failure. No rings, no finals appearances, just dysfunction and regret. With only 1 year left on his deal at a steep $54.7 million, Durant has become the league's most volatile trade chip, an aging superstar with declining durability but game-breaking potential when healthy. Phoenix knows the window is shut. Durant knows it too. But here's the twist. The teams circling Durant aren't rebuilding. They're not gambling. They're contenders. And one of them might just be desperate enough to bet everything. The Spurs have Wembanyama, but no urgency. The Rockets have assets, but no identity. The Heat? They flirt with stars every summer but rarely close. The Timberwolves are the wild card, but Durant next to Edwards and Gobert. It's a stretch. Let's be clear. The Knicks didn't fire Tom Thibodeau after their best playoff run in a quarter century because they were content. They did it because they're going all in. This is not about adding a piece. This is about rewriting their story. With Jalen Brunson entering his prime and Julius Randle's future uncertain, Durant represents a chance to bypass the slow grind of development and leap straight into contention. The only problem? The numbers don't add up, literally.